Hey everybody, I'm right here just south of Flagstaff, Arizona, heading down to Phoenix. And I wanted to share a little bit of the weather that I've been experiencing for the last 2-3 hours now. But I just have to confess something right now. I made a blooper on the last episode. I put it as 2B, but it was supposed to be 3B, because 3 is the power of yes. We're talking about the foundational keys that are going to help you fulfill the purpose that God has for you, what He created you for. And today we're on number 4, okay? And we're going to talk about how to take control of your future. Watch this.
Warning. Watching the videos on this YouTube channel can have dangerous effects on your current thinking about your ability to be successful in life. Only those who have courage to change should apply. If you are still watching, you might have what it takes. Enter at your own risk. Like this video, subscribe to this channel and click the bell so you don't miss an episode. Don't forget to let us know your thoughts on the video in the comments.
Good morning, everybody. Here we go with another episode in the Gospel Truck 2. We're talking about the foundational keys that help us determine and follow the purpose that God created us for. As you can see in the background, we see the sun coming up first thing in the morning. It's so beautiful. Over there is the Dancing Eagle Casino. You know, and as I was contemplating how to start this video this morning, I realized that many times we think our future is just a crapshoot. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to just grab a hold of that future and say, yes, this is mine, instead of wondering and throwing it into the slot machines and wondering what's going to come out? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, because there is a way that you can grab a hold of that future. There's 3 keys that we're going to talk about, well, that are part of this grabbing a hold of your future, but we're going to talk about one today. And that's the difference between conviction and guilt. Because one will help you get to your future. The other one will hold you back from your future. That's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, in Hebrews 12 in the Bible, it says that God chastens those He loves. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I hear something like that, I automatically go back to my childhood when I was abused severely. I mean, times where I would end up black and blue from the middle of my back down to my knees. Abuse. Maybe some of you have gone through the same thing. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you've been through an abusive relationship, and that's what it makes you think of when you think about when the Bible says that God chastens or disciplines those He loves. See, the purpose that the reason why God disciplines us is so that we can see the parts that are holding us back from being from Him and becoming that person that He created us to be. The only issue here is that once we get disciplined, or like that father who not the abusive one, but the one who knows and sees where you're going and sees that what you're doing is holding you back or going to hurt you in the future. And he pulls you aside and he helps you to see what it's going to do to your life. The biggest problem that we have when that happens is that just like when we get a deep cut, when we fall, or we bump up against something and it creates a deep cut or a burn, that area of our lives becomes vulnerable. Just like that cut, if we don't take care of it right, it'll get infected. It reminds me of a time when I was a teenager and I was working with my uncle at his gardening and landscaping company, and I fell off the side of the truck and hit the mailbox that we were parked next to, and it created a big gash in my side about that long. It was on my side over here, and I just kind of brushed it off, kept going, and a couple days later it became a goose egg. Why? Because it became infected, and I tried to hide it, but I couldn't, because the pain was getting so bad that the people around me, my aunt, my uncle, who I was living with at the time, realized that something was wrong and asked me what was going on. And finally I had to tell them that, and they showed it to my aunt, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is so," it was huge. It was about that big, and it was about a half an inch of a bump coming out. And what they determined was there was a bunch of pus in there because I didn't clean it out right. I didn't put the right I didn't clean it out, and I didn't put the right stuff that was going to make it heal so that I could grow. And that's what happens sometimes when God chases us. We realize what we've done wrong or what we're doing wrong, and instead of taking the instruction that he gives us to help us make it right, we start believing the lies that the enemy comes at us with. See, you're no good. You're not worth it. And the truth is we're not worth it. If you look at Romans chapter 3, Paul tells us that we all fall short. But that's why Jesus came. So as we begin to realize and see those things that are holding us back from God, the step is first to cry out to God and help and ask him to show us the steps we need to take in order to make it right. And when that enemy comes, the next step is the enemy's going to come and try and convince us that we're not going to be able to make it. But God promises that if we step out in faith, we will get it. We will be there. We will become that person. We'll be able to grab a hold of that future. So I want to encourage you today, if you're feeling guilty, tell that devil, "You're lying, and I ain't believing you no more." And step out in faith. God bless you guys. I love you. Hope everything goes well for you today.